right, we are back here on the SportsLine. We're going to switch some gears from the NFL owners' meetings, talk college basketball. Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse, awesome enough to join us in studio for the Electric Power Company's Sunday Sports Central Sunday night to help us break down the tournament. And he was invested in these games over the weekend because his alma mater was playing for a spot in the Final Four. And Jerry helped us break down the East Regional Final between the Tar Heels and the Peacocks of St. Peter's first. Joined now by this week's tournament guest analyst, Vanderbilt coach Jerry Stackhouse. Jerry, I know if we took a blood sample right now, we'd get a lot of black and gold back these days. But I'm assuming there's still a little bit of Carolina blue in there somewhere. Were you nervous, excited, happy? What were the emotions today watching the alma mater?
We was a little nervous for sure, but I mean, I was definitely excited. I thought that, you know, I was joking. I said that it was time for the shoe to come off of Cinderella's foot tonight. So, I mean, St. Peter's had a heck of a run, but I thought just the size that we had with Baycott would get them over the hump.
Hubert Davis becomes the first coach to make a Final Four since Bill Guthridge did it in his first season back at North Carolina in 1998. It hasn't been all easy this year for Hubert, but how is he able to stick with it with these guys and get them to play their best basketball here in March? I
mean, I think it was tough. You know, when you got a new team, a new unit that you're trying to implement your style on. I know he had been there with, Roy Williams, but he wanted to kind of put his imprint on things, and it takes some time to kind of implement what you want to do. So I think they started off to a little bit of a slow start, got the Carolina Nation a little bit roused up, but I think he just continued to stay focused, kept the noise on the outside, and here they are going to the Final Four.
And you saw the emotion, a Carolina alum leaving Baby Blue back to the Final Four. All right, one region down from the Sunday Elite Eight games. Let's move right into the Midwest region. The other game on Sunday, of course, that's top-seeded Kansas taking on another double-digit seed Miami. And once again, you have great runs, Cinderella runs, but sometimes it leads to blowouts later on in the tournament. And that's what you had, because this one was all rock, chalk, Jayhawk.
Well, Coach Stack, Miami led this game at the half, but Kansas buckles down, outscores Miami 47-15 in the second half to win easily. How did they turn things around so easily?
Well, I just thought they went inside early in that second half, and that was huge. And I thought that was big. And after it was kind of going back and forth there for a while, and they really kind of got their guards under control in the second half. And it was just, eventually the talent took over for them. And even though the big guy McCormick didn't come back in, he played those first 4 or 5 minutes and got them some separation. And then they brought in that unit and got going, started hitting the shots again, and got some separation.
Meanwhile, Bill Self, what can you say about him? He's now 4-5 in the Elite Eight, and he's said on numerous occasions that winning the regional final to get to the Final Four is the toughest game of the NCAA tournament. You played in a Final Four. What makes winning at this point so difficult?
I will say, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, I remember us playing Kentucky and in Birmingham to go to the Final Four, and that was a tough game. I think Rick Pitino had already had some room set up to where he said they were going, be celebrating. So we had a little bulletin board material and had some motivation there. But again, that was a great feeling. But it's still nothing like being in that Final Four and having an opportunity to win it all.
Coach, great to have you here in studio. Don't go too far. We got much more with you coming up later in the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, like right now. We're going to go back to him for the other two Elite Eight games and performances from the weekend, including his old North Carolina arch rival Duke and Coach K, getting to a 13th Final Four record for men's NCAA coaches and doing it in his final season. Of course, great story there. Stackhouse has thoughts on that, and we'll dive into his Vanderbilt season as well right now with Jerry Stackhouse. We bring Jerry Stackhouse back in here. Jerry, I know he was on the other side of the Duke-UNC rivalry from you, but Mike Krzyzewski's done it at Duke for 42 years and now heads to a 13th Final Four, passing the great John Wooden for the most all-time. As someone who went against him as a player and now coaching, you're watching his teams from afar within college basketball. What impresses you most about what Coach K has been able to do and for how long he's been able to do it?
Yeah, you just look at the longevity and the level of success that he has that program at. I mean, I was recruited by Coach K. I spent a lot of time over there when Grant was there. It was actually one of my top spots of going to college, but I mean, ultimately I decided to go the right way and go to North Carolina. But no, you have to, tip your hat to Coach K and what he's been able to accomplish. He's had an amazing career. And I know they would love to see him go out on top, but we're hoping that's not the case.
Can you even imagine Duke Carolina in a Final Four game now?
Oh, man, unbelievable. I mean, I was so surprised to hear that they've never been in a tournament game before. All of the years that they've made the tournament, they never crossed paths in the tournament, and for them to do it on his last season, it's going to be historic, and it's going to be a classic for sure.
Amazing. Pretty good argument. Coach K is the best of all time. Pretty good argument that the best guy going right now, maybe Villanova's Jay Wright. He has made that program one of the blue bloods in college basketball. What has made this Villanova team so special?
It's a selfless team. I think they're one of the most disciplined teams when it comes to driving the basketball, playing off 2 feet, doing the things that you need to do to get high percentage shots and make high percentage plays. They teach it at a high level, and this is a big reason for their success.
The bad news for Villanova is that now heads to New Orleans without Justin Moore, who did tear his Achilles in Saturday's win. For a team that really only plays 6 guys, Jerry, how difficult will that be to overcome?
Well, it's just going. I think you shorten your rotation up, at this time of the season anyway. But I think they're definitely going to miss him. He's a huge part of what they were trying to do, but it's just an opportunity for somebody else to step up off the bench. And you've seen that happen in these situations before, where a guy that you don't account for come in and have a big game, and I know they're looking forward to someone doing that.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I don't have to explain injuries to you after the season you had to coach through this year at Vanderbilt. But your third Vandy team finished strong. You won 5 of your last 7. The Commodores back in the postseason for the first time in 5 years, winning 2 games in the NIT before falling at Xavier on Tuesday to finish the year 19-17. Given everything you went through this year with the injuries to Liam Robbins and Rodney Chapman, how proud are you of the way this team finished?
Yeah, I'm really proud of this group, man. I thought they stayed together. Even without Liam and Rodney, there was a lot of opportunities where we just didn't handle well down the stretch, and I thought that not handling those allowed us to grow. And when we saw those same situations later on in the season, we handled them a lot better. And it just coincided with us getting Rodney and getting Liam back into the mix. I felt that we were a tournament team with those guys. It was great for us to get into the NIT, for our guys to experience postseason. It was a great experience, and we're looking to try to expound upon that.
You knew the rebuild in front of you when you took over a program that was 0-19 in the SEC. But in year 3, how important was it to have the validation that what you and your players have done has really turned the corner?
I mean, it feels good. it feels good we did it, the right way. We did it with guys within our system. We didn't go out every year and try to piece together a team with Scotty and Jordan Wright and Quentin Millar-Brown. Those are guys that have developed within our program, and for those guys to have that success, we know that we're on the right path to creating that memorial magic. We felt that this year. I mean, with our student body and our fans, that gym was rocking, and we're looking forward to having that be common every game, because it was a lot of fun.
It really was rocking there in the NIT. Scottie Pippen Jr. led the SEC in scoring. He pulled out of the NBA draft a year ago to come back to school, and he could make that decision again if he so chooses. How will you advise him as his coach as he prepares for this process?
Well, I think for us, it's just to let Scotty breathe a little bit. I mean, when we talked last summer, it was about coming back this year and giving him an opportunity to increase his stock to leave this year. I think he's really enjoying school, man. He enjoys his teammates. He enjoys class. He's doing really well in school. And he really has 2 years left, with the COVID year. So, I think he could come back and set some records that could last for a long time. He's doing okay. He drives pretty much the same truck I drive right now. So his dad does okay. So hopefully he decides to come back. But if not, then he's had a heck of a ride for us, and he's done everything that we asked him to do.
It's always good to have options, and Scotty certainly does. I remember sitting here with you almost exactly 4 years ago when you were hired, and there were a bunch of people out there, Jerry, who were eager to see how an NBA player and assistant coach would translate to the college game. Now that you're 3 full seasons in, what's the biggest thing you've learned, or what's the biggest challenge you've actually faced doing the job?
I was never going to have all of the answers. I mean, once I got here, I had to know how to operate and how to navigate throughout campus. I had to understand how to navigate throughout the SEC, understanding the different coaches, the different schemes. It was a learning curve for me as well. But I said that when I got hired, that I'm not afraid to talk about what I don't know, and I'm going to go and get some people to help me understand what I don't know as far as the college game and the program and how it works. I know from an organization and a business standpoint and what I want to do from a basketball standpoint. But man, it's just been great just being able to learn on the fly, but at the same time know that the process of relationships is the key. And having great relationships with these student athletes that we have, getting to know their families, getting to spend time with them. And the basketball and the X's and O's normally take care of yourself when you do that.
And things on the court are trending up. So what's the expectation for you in year 4?
We should be a tournament team. I mean, I don't think we're going to sneak up on anybody anymore. If Scotty comes back, if we're able to add another piece to complement him, similar to the way Rodney Chapman did this year, you know, having a full season of Lim Robbins and the incoming class that we've had, which is a top 20 class. I don't think that we've had that type of competitive depth throughout our roster since I've been here. So I'm excited about pushing the pedal down a little bit harder because I think now there's going to be some expectations and we got to be ready to exceed those expectations.
A lot of reasons to be excited, that's for sure. Stay with us because we still got the